What's going on, guys? Sean here with On the Floor TV, coming at you with the very first episode that we've recorded for the show. We recorded it last night after the Nets versus Cleveland Cavaliers game, which was an absolutely insane game. Nobody thought it was going to go two overtimes and that the Cavs would beat the Big Three in their debut. So me and Zach get into it and talk about that and many other things NBA, and also a little bit about NBA 2K and what's new there too as well in my team. All right, let's get into it.
What's up?
Hey,
What's up?
what up?
So that was a crazy
That was
game.
that was insane.
Yeah, that was like not what you would expect
No,
in a
I thought it was
season
gonna be
game.
a
Like it's
blowout for Brooklyn, but like,
yeah, I think
what
everybody did.
happened?
Yeah, I think everybody thought it was gonna be at least like maybe not even like a blowout, but at least it was gonna be
A Brooklyn win.
a Brooklyn win, and like it wasn't gonna go into double overtime.
Yeah, no,
And
I didn't see double overtime coming at all.
yeah, like it's kind of crazy, and like it and like it seems like it was like the offense is there obviously, and defense is kind of lacking in the first like bit of the game, but like it didn't
Brooklyn's
because
defense picked up at the end of the fourth.
oh for sure, absolutely. And like it didn't feel like Kyrie, like it didn't feel like Harden had a triple double.
No,
Like Kevin Durant went for 38 points. Kyrie Irving had 37 points. Like and
like it didn't feel like all of them did the performance they did just because the defense was making them look bad.
yeah, but like it felt like Sexton went for 42. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it
because like
like
every single time the Cavs had the ball, it was like, oh, Sexton for three. It was like,
yeah,
oh my
like
god.
he made some crazy shots. And like their
That
bench
one
did
at the end of the
well.
overtime, like that dagger at the end of the overtime, that just put them down. It was like right then. That's what I even said to you. I was just like,
But
this game's over.
yeah, clutch shots. Like clutch shots. Like Osman from the Cavaliers had 25, and off
Mm-hmm.
the bench, like Prince tonight had 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 4
I'm gonna laugh
assists.
at that because you're like, I've never seen Prince do that as a Brooklyn net.
Yeah.
As a Brooklyn net, he was always doing like stupid turnovers, making huge mistakes that like were costly. And then his first game as a Cav, he's going off hitting like three threes in a row.
Yeah, I just feel like they like really rallied tonight for Allen and
Allen
Prince
Prince.
like being traded, and I think that they
Yeah.
really like they had that vibe in the locker room, and I didn't think that they would have thought it would have went to double overtime. They they certainly like the Nets pulled together their defense in the fourth for sure to make
Yes.
it a
Oh
little
yeah.
closer of a game. Otherwise the Cavs would have won it.
You're seeing more double teams and stuff like that from the Nets at the end of that fourth. But for like what they've got to get onto is playing that kind of defense consistently.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because if they can
And
play
against
that kind of
much harder
defense,
teams than the Cavs. Because like
yeah,
the
that's
Cavs,
what I mean. Like the Cavs are doing well right now, but come playoff time, they're not going to be in like the contention picture.
yeah, I think it was really tonight the Cavs. Like I don't think this is like a picture of like where their season's gonna go or
No,
anything.
not at all.
I think this was like the first like night against the Nets, and Brooke like Allen just got
They knew a lot of
traded and
eyes were going
Prince
to
just
be
got
on them, so they
traded, and
wanted they wanted to make a big statement.
yeah, they really rallied for those guys tonight. And
Yeah,
and they said that in like pregame interview. And I
yeah.
think they did that. And again, I don't think anybody expected to go to double overtime, but
That's
you
all.
know,
When it was at the end, I thought Brooklyn was going to take it on the first overtime there, and then
yeah,
Sexton comes in with that dagger at the end of the overtime. It's like, what is going on?
especially at the end of the fourth, like Brooklyn kind of had momentum going into that first overtime
Yeah,
period, right? So that's why it's like where I sent the message to you. I was like, I think Brooklyn's gonna win it by 6. I think it's still gonna
yeah.
be close, but I think Brooklyn's gonna like pull ahead with a couple of shots. I was expecting, even though Kyrie and KD like put out the performance they did and the points they did, I thought they were gonna hit those like kind of clutch shots
Yeah, I was
in
expecting
the
KD to do like a pull up or something and just like take the game there. But then they
yeah.
started missing shots and like doing turnovers and getting fouled a lot. And it was like,
And he
oh,
almost turned it over off that inbound too.
yeah,
Like it
yeah,
was yeah, it was like I I still think it because it was such a longer game. Well, we've seen a game and a half tonight
Yeah, literally.
of the debut, like, which is kind of
It's kind of cool.
cool to see like a game and a half of the big three from
Even
like,
though they lost their first night together, like even though they lost it, they're still gonna have like they still got something to build off. It's not like they got blown out. Like they took a
no,
pretty
yeah, no.
decent team that played very well into double overtime
And again,
without practicing.
and again, I really think it because it was against the Cavs and they really did like rally for Allen and everything.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna see. I think you're gonna see a much different thing from the Nets in the next couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
I just worry defensively come the playoffs. Like they really got to.
They got to tighten up the defense for sure because teams like the Lakers are going to eat them.
Absolutely.
Because like you get somebody like Anthony Davis coming in, like if DeAndre Jordan's your guy, then DeAndre Jordan's got to be more solid because like AD goes into the post. I'm sorry, but AD's taking you down and eating
100%, and that's where the Nets are weak. And I think, and that's why, like, if we went into the playoffs right now, I 100% would take the Lakers to the championship still.
Yep.
I 100% would.
Like,
if we went into the playoffs,
they're still in the championship momentum and everything, right? So like,
yeah, and it's just, and they got younger and it's just like
they got both
Braun and AD are more comfortable. And I think AD's got that kind of confidence now after winning the championship last year.
Yeah, AD looks a lot more confident this year.
I think the bubble also gave like kind of like it really bonded the Lakers, I think.
Yeah.
And, like you can see that at the start of the season.
They're a lot tighter of a unit now, like guys that were there through the bubble, like Caruso, Braun, AD, even KCP.
Kuz.
Like KCP has been really hot this year.
Even Kuz is doing a little bit better than what he was last year. And KCP I don't like Kuz. I'm not a huge fan of Kuz.
Like, see, like, you know, like I follow the Lakers pretty hard. Like, one guy that's coming out like on the Lakers, it's like wowing me a lot this year compared to other years is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's like he usually has slow starts. Like even last year, like I remember Laker fans were calling for his head, saying that him and Danny Green were the biggest ripoff artists for contracts.
Yeah.
Now KCP is one of the best players on the Lakers. Outside of the obvious ones like LeBron and AD, KCP is a good third.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he keeps playing the way that he's playing and everything, for sure.
Like that's the thing with KCP because he usually goes into spurts, like hot spurts, and then he falls off hard. So I'm interested to see like if he can keep it going, like say like All-Star break comes around, like if he can keep that going.
Yeah.
Because I know there's no All-Star game this year from what I understand, but they're still having the 1 week break.
Oh, so they're not doing the it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, from what I understand, there's no All-Star game because they wanted because of COVID restrictions and stuff like that.
They're not doing the skills comp or the dunk competition. Like they're not doing the big weekend. Yeah.
They are.
Well, why? Like it wouldn't make sense as a league to do that. It would just be
contradicting all the protocols you put in place.
Well, and not just that, just to make it work. Like it would cost them so much. They could do it. Without the fans. I mean, it would be no different than doing games. It's just like why do it? It would be
why do an All-Star
game
when the All-Star games are for the fans? You can't have fans there.
Yeah, exactly, and it's really the whole weekend around it. Like it's like the All-Star weekend is like about bringing revenue to the city that holds the All-Star weekend, right? Like there's a whole weekend around. It's not just like we just see the the game and the skills comp and the dunk contest and all that kind of stuff, and the rookie game, like the rookie like all that.
The Rising Stars games are always pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember last year, I watched the Rising Stars game last year, and I remember Luka Doncic hitting like that almost full court shot over Trae Young.
Yeah.
That was one moment that stood out to me because that's when I really started paying attention to Luka because I was like, okay, like no, this guy's got game. Like it's not just talk like I thought it was for the last year or so.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's when I really dove into Luka Doncic. I was like, okay, like this guy's like he gets better defensively. He's going to be one of the best to ever play.
And it's kind of fair to the players too, because I mean, like they did for the teams that went deep into the playoffs, they like restarted the season like right away again.
Right away,
in December, right?
Like the Heat and Lakers got like a 2-month break, if that.
Yeah, right. So I mean, it makes sense to just kind of have like a spring break for them to like have a week off and chill, and then because again, like it's gonna be second part of the season, the playoffs are going to be here before like we even know it. So
Yeah, no, exactly.
yeah, it makes sense that there's no All-Star weekend. But yeah, I mean, that was a crazy debut for the Big Three. Like I
Oh my god,
I'm still
I,
taken
I
aback
wasn't
by that
expecting it
game.
to be that crazy for them to debut.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, like it's like you said, it's not that they got blown out or anything. Like, you know, Harden put up a triple double. Even Green had 16 points. DeAndre
Yeah.
Jordan had 13 points.
What
Like
I don't like with
Harris
Jordan
was
though is
kinda,
if you look at the stat sheet there, if you look at the box score, DeAndre Jordan had 4 rebounds, if I'm not mistaken.
he only had 4 rebounds. Yes, he did.
Now,
Yeah,
as a
only
center,
4 rebounds.
how is your
That's
shooting guard?
not.
How are your shooting guards? How are your guards getting more boards than you as a center?
Well, yeah, like Durant had 12, Harden had 10.
Yeah,
Like you like both your small
he had
forward
almost.
and your
Kyrie
shooting
had
guard
almost
had
as many
double
rebounds as
what
him.
you had. Even Green, a power forward had 7 rebounds.
Kyrie's a point guard and the shortest one on the team, and
He had 2.
He had
Yeah,
2.
yeah,
Oh,
he had
3
2
assists.
rebounds. Yeah. Irving had
Yeah.
2 rebounds. Yeah.
But still, like, how is it that you're the only true center on the team, and you're not even hitting 5 boards a game?
Yeah.
The Nets' the big thing the Nets need is an upgraded center.
They definitely need I don't know. It's hard because like the Nets are not gonna be a big post team. They're not the Lakers,
There are a lot
right?
of threes and mid-range shots.
Yeah, 100%. So, but you need that center on defense. You need to have that post defense for the teams like the Lakers who are going to give you that kind
They're
of
gonna
trouble.
give you a lot of post trouble.
You need those rebounds, man. Like you cannot.
'Cause,
Like
like-
I don't care if it's offensive. Like mainly defensively, you need
Defensive rebounds are the killers
You
for
need
Brooklyn.
those
Like the
rebounds.
offensive ones, they can let it slide a bit because they're hitting a lot of their shots.
Yeah,
But the big
absolutely.
thing for Brooklyn is they're giving up second chance points because of the fact they're letting all these defensive rebounds go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like that's going to be the big killer for them. Like the biggest weaknesses I see for Brooklyn from here on out are the defensive rebounding, the lack of depth at center, and it's all in Kyrie Irving's mental state.
Yeah,
those are the 3 things that Brooklyn's got to watch really hard right now.
Yeah, Kyrie's like, I don't know, like Kyrie seemed Kyrie tonight. Like he definitely.
But that's the problem is the Kyrie always seems like he's Kyrie when he's playing. But then,
for sure.
like out of the blue, it's like suddenly Kyrie's off the grid. Nobody knows where he is.
I think again though he missed some like clutch open shots in those overtime periods that could have put the Nets over the top and probably won them the game.
There was a couple possessions where it's like I've said to you like a few times before too. Like Kyrie, I saw it again tonight. He was leaving teammates open while he was trying to dribble through traffic.
Yeah,
and it was like he could have thrown it to the hot hand like Durant, who could have hit the corner 3. Instead, Kyrie wanted to try and dribble through all the centers and hit it 2.
Yep, and that's
where Kyrie's got to like get more generous with the ball because like you look at people were concerned about Harden passing. Harden's getting double-digit assists every game. Kyrie's getting like 2 to 3 assists a game.
I've never understood why people are so like when Harden was in Houston. I really don't understand why people always fucking harped on Harden for being like selfish with the ball. Like he
leads the league
last year led the league in assists.
Yeah,
I think Embiid. I could be wrong, but I think Embiid last season before COVID and stuff called him out for being like too selfish with the ball, and Harden's like response was like, "I lead the league in assists." Like it's in the numbers. Like I like there's no argument here with that. I remember
a few guys were trying to go with Harden, and then Harden kind of just like it just kind of out of the blue had the shots at Giannis, and then him and Giannis had that back and forth for a bit.
Maybe it was Giannis. I think
it was Giannis because Harden made the comment at Giannis saying that just like the like sly sneak this kind of being like I wish that I could be 7 foot tall and
just run the rim.
I could actually learn skills and have
it takes no talent. Yeah, it takes no talent to be that tall and that big and just run the rim. Yeah, that's right. I think it was Giannis.
Yeah, because it was the shots at Giannis, and then I think Giannis was the one who made the comments about not being generous with the ball.
Yeah. Even though Harden
led the league,
and he does it this year too. Like I don't Harden was a problem in Houston only because he didn't want to be there. And like, I really think like, yeah, the media attacked him and whatever because he was like, fucking off and going to strip clubs and I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing if
I mean,
I
right?
was in
Like
his
the
position.
guy's
Like,
making $40 million a year. He's gonna live the dream as
and
long
it's
as he's
like,
putting
and
on
you
the
have a
floor, right?
toxic. The bigger point though is like that he was in a toxic work environment. It's no different. I don't like set aside the money and the fame and whatever. Like people forget about that. Like when you play the game to love the game and you love playing the game, if you're in a toxic work environment, which is your team and the front office, there's more than just going out on the court and playing basketball every day. If the
Mhm.
front end of the office and everything like that, like if it's toxic and it's no longer a good fit. You hate coming to work every day. $40
Mhm.
million a year or whatever that he makes, right? Like it
The
really
last
it
the
doesn't make a
last year where
difference.
I was gonna say the last year where Harden actually was like having a decent time on Houston was the year they went to the third round against Golden State.
Yeah.
That like after that, like Houston just kind of went like steadily on like a decline, and the whole time from the start of the decline, you could see Harden was less and less into it.
Yeah.
And then by the time they got Westbrook, it was too late. Like Harden wasn't into it, and then there was the rumor that went around that Westbrook lost his want to be there because of Harden's constant partying.
Yeah.
And then so it was just like
It was
like
that, yeah.
they worked well together when they were younger, but they both grew into their own men, and it just didn't work with them.
Well, and they both kind of like, Houston was clearly Harden's team when Westbrook came
Yeah,
in, right?
Westbrook
So
wanted to be the guy, and that wasn't going to be the case on Houston.
no, no, and I just think again Harden's mental state and like even like I keep
Houston,
referencing it to you. Kobe said it even when Harden was in Houston and the leading scorer of the league and leading assist. Kobe still said when he was alive that like that style of basketball is not going to win championships.
mm-hmm.
It's great and all,
It's
and
fun to
like
watch.
oh, absolutely,
And
absolutely, we all
I
loved
like how
watching
the
it.
Nets are utilizing that side of Harden here and there. Like if you notice when KD and Kyrie were on the bench tonight, and they would have Harden being the one out there, that's when they let Harden go into kind of more of the ISO stuff.
Yeah.
It's when they have KD and Kyrie off the floor that it's like, okay, this is your time to go now. Like, and then you saw Harden like doing the dribble moves more, doing the size ups,
I think
and
you got to let him still do that, right? Like you
yeah,
can't
and
completely take
I
that
think that's why
away.
you're seeing Harden getting more minutes than KD and Kyrie is because KD and Kyrie are out there do the regular minutes, do the regular thing, and then Harden's doing the extra shifts to kind of like get that out of his system, and it works.
And that's just it, right? Like with the Nets, you don't got to play KD, Kyrie, and Harden all at the same time all the time. Like
You
you
can have a
can
superstar on the
stagger
floor at
them.
all times.
You can absolutely stagger them, and because each one of them, I would say Harden more than Kyrie lately. What will prove that like you can put Harden in while KD and Kyrie rest, and Harden's going to keep those points up for you. Like
Yeah.
he's
What?
not going to let the lead slip. Like,
Yeah, exactly. What I found really interesting, I don't know if you noticed it or not, at the start of the overtimes, they had Harden playing point and Kyrie on shooting guard.
mm-hmm.
That was interesting to me because
That is.
I wasn't sure if they were going to let Harden be the main ball handler or not. And then you see like Kyrie's playing the wing, and I was like, whoa.
I think it all depends. I think it depends on Kyrie's decision making when the ball's in his hand, right? I think
Yeah,
Nash, I think Nash is because Nash was the prominent like ball handler for the Suns, even for the Mavericks, like wherever Nash played, right? Like he's
Nash. If you actually think back
one of
to
the best
Steve
point guards
Nash,
to ever
like
play the
Steve
game.
Nash and James Harden were very similar in the way they play.
Nash and James Harden.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
actually think back to Nash, like Nash has more similarities in his style to James Harden than he ever has Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, definitely. I think decision making and basketball IQ. I think Harden and Nash are closer than.
Yeah, and that's where you,
Not
like
that
I noticed like on the bench and stuff, you'll see Nash is like giving more advice to Harden and like taking Harden aside and like pointing stuff out to Harden a lot, and just like kind of leaving Kyrie alone because like he's kind of realized I think that it's like this is a touchy subject, Kyrie. Let's leave him be.
I don't know.
Harden,
It's hard to read from their like. It's always hard to read like bench discussions from the outside in.
I just noticed Nash talking to Harden a lot more than anybody else. So it's like I think Nash is kind of taking Harden under his wing to be like, I'm going to turn you into a Hall of Famer kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're a legend right now, but let's make you a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah, and I could absolutely see the two like anchors of the team being Harden and KD, and
Yeah, 100%.
Kyrie falling to the
The
back.
third.
And I get it all. Like what I was gonna say before is like it all depends upon Kyrie's decision making when he has the ball. So when
Yeah.
he's given the opportunity to be ball dominant and carry it up, is he going to take the higher IQ shots? And he did tonight. I mean, like he like obviously he did really well. I mean, there's certain instances where like, yeah, I know you probably should have passed the ball
Yeah.
there,
That's gonna be the
right?
big thing with Kyrie is just to like get used to being more like being more of a pass first guard, because Kyrie's always been that go for the shot even if you're contested, and he hits a lot of them. Yeah, but there's some times where he's got to recognize when he's not able to hit it and just throw the ball out.
Yeah, but the league has changed so much too now, where like like the 3-point shot is guarded way more now because
Oh yeah, 100%.
it's
You have a lot
definitely
like
even
back in like the '90s and stuff. There wasn't near the like the tactics and stuff for perimeter defense as you have like now, where it's like
no,
there's guys that are strictly there to be on the perimeter for defense.
absolutely. Like a Drew Holiday
Yeah,
is
Drew Holiday's a perfect example. Like that's one thing that Milwaukee lacked, and they went out to address that need with somebody that Giannis wanted. And in the end, it actually worked out to their benefit because they ended up getting them to just get Giannis to sign the extension.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like you like teams are going to have to guard the perimeter super hard with the Nets, especially come playoff time. And like Kyrie's going to have to make those higher IQ decisions of like not to just take the shot because he's Kyrie Irving and pass
Yeah,
the ball. Like it's
exactly. He's got to realize like, yeah, you're Kyrie Irving, but it's not like with Boston where you were the number one. There's now a 1 and 2 ahead of you, and if you don't think you can make the shot, kick it out to them.
and like how like I've watched quite a few of the games of him with the Cavs, and because obviously Kevin Love could knock down the three easy. Like he was
But like,
definitely a stretch five. Did
if you
Kevin Love
watch
play
old
center? He
Cavs
played power
games,
forward.
Kyrie was a lot more pass first then. Like he was throwing a lot of lobs to Braun. It was a lot. It was a lot of fancy passing with Kyrie and some clutch shots.
Yeah, but
Now he's very shoot first. Like
Kyrie was super young with the Cavs though, and
yeah.
He was more under Braun's wing there, so he was more following like Braun's lead on the bench and in the locker room and
Whereas
everything
now
like
he
that.
looks at him
So,
and KD as equals because they're friends.
but since the Cavs, right? Like he went to Boston and he didn't really do shit in Boston,
No,
and
he
it was
didn't.
like it wasn't a good
They
scene.
actually did better
That
the
was
year after he left.
yeah. So it's like and not like we don't need to get into it a lot, but obviously like you watch the same interview I did with Braun, and like Braun didn't feel so good about like what Kyrie had to say about.
Shot thing because like at the end of the day, like LeBron even said, like he guided Kyrie and taught him a lot of things and like helped mold him into
On
who
and
he
off
is.
the court.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like even Braun said, like he would never say anything like that about Kyrie. So he found it kind of insulting that Kyrie would just like randomly say something like that.
And I think that's what Braun was touching on is like nobody is concerned about Kyrie on the court,
Yeah,
right? Like we're not at all
it's not his
concerned
on-court
about.
performance we're worried about.
We're
It's him
not
off the court we're worried about.
even if Kyrie has a bad night, it's still a pretty good night in
Because
in
Kyrie having a
respect
bad
to
night is
other
putting up
players on
like
the
20.
court. Yeah,
Kyrie having
exactly.
a bad night is putting up 20 points.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, right? So
Yeah,
I think it's definitely more the off court.
it's definitely Kyrie off court because like at the same time it's like the timing of it had a lot of people thinking it was the storming of the Capitol thing, whereas like Kyrie said like was good to go medically for the bubble as well, but chose to opt out because of the civil rights stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there was.
Don't be wrong. I saw where he was coming from on that, but it's not like the team is always having to worry about what's going on socially in the world to gauge whether one of their stars is playing, and that's not what they were paying him $35 million a year for.
Yeah, I think that
like
they're
he's played 27 games in his entire Brooklyn Nets career so far.
I think that everyone in the league is super conscious about what's going on.
Yeah,
in the like
but
social climate.
They're not only playing 27 games in 2 seasons.
And what's happening like in the racial like collide that's happening in the United States. Like the Bucks were the first ones to walk off in the bubble when everything happened in Wisconsin, right?
They also took the knee this year during the day that the Capitol stormed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think and again, I told you this earlier when we were talking, like on Twitter, I seen almost everybody's complaint about it is not like, if you want to stand for that shit and you don't want to play, whatever. Like, I am certainly not going to tell
Yeah,
like
I'm not
Kyrie
gonna.
Irving like
I'm
what
not
he can or cannot
advocating.
stand up for, but fucking tell your team, man. Like,
Yeah,
communicate with your
exactly.
coach. Like, when Nash gets on national television and has no idea what's going on, it fucking looks bad.
Yeah, like when people reports like, "Oh, have you heard from Kyrie?" And he's like, "I don't know where he is. I haven't heard from him. I don't know why he's gone."
And
It's
I
like,
get it,
hey, like you have
Kyrie's not
responsibility
a
at
media,
least.
like we were talking about earlier too. Like Kyrie has a particular disdain for the media, and
Yeah,
I get it because the media
they've
does
painted him to be pretty bad.
Oh, absolutely, and they have, like, there's people all over Twitter who've clearly only ever read shitty things in the media about Kyrie
They've
Irving.
never actually watched Kyrie's game.
Yeah,
Like,
and he's a
because
great
quite
person
honestly,
too.
like
Like you can
Kyrie is the
go
best.
online and find the list of like donations and stuff. Like, he bought George Floyd's
Yeah, I
family
was
a
just about to say
house.
that he bought George Floyd's family a house not long ago.
He's donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to put meals into like first line workers' stomachs during the
Yep,
pandemic and stuff in New York. Like, you know,
he's done a lot for the community.
I think that people paint him as like a fucking bad person because he wanted to sit out a few games.
Yeah,
But it's people not being able to differentiate the business between like personal interests and personal values and stuff.
like the one thing that I do that I've always stood with Kyrie on is when he says there's some things that are bigger than basketball.
There
Because
are.
it's true. Like,
And LeBron has said
and
it too.
he's
That's like
very
LeBron's
attentive to that kind of
brand is
stuff.
like more than an athlete, right?
Yep. And like
Right?
that's the thing is like Kyrie's whole like he's very aware of everything that's going on in the world, and he's very like what's the word? He's very he's one of the first ones there to help, but like you said, because he misses some games, people paint him out to be a bad guy. Like my only issue with him missing the games is when his team and teammates don't know where he is or when he's coming back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I agree there. And I really hate seeing on Twitter like fans attack him and say just shut up and dribble. Like that's
Yeah,
like that like
it's not. It's
that
not.
angle pisses me off
Yeah,
because they do have a platform, and
and if they
I
want to use it
have
for good, don't stop them.
one of the reasons I love the NBA is like this past year, not only did they like lead, not so much like right now with they're doing pretty good with the pandemic, but
Mhm.
they were the first ones to shut down. They led the
Yep.
example on like how to like they ran the bubble and everything. They had 0 positive cases during the bubble.
Yep, that was amazing, honestly.
And then when everything happened with George Floyd and the civil unrest in the United States, they were the leading example.
Being
Out
like,
of
here, if you want to
major
put something
league
on your jersey,
sports, everybody else followed what they were doing.
yeah, they set the precedent for how to have a sports league in during the COVID pandemic.
And let their athletes speak out, and not only just like not letting their athletes speak out, but like giving them the use of their
Allowing them to use
platform to
their
like put the
platform.
stuff on their jerseys and stuff. And not just that, but having the meeting with the owners and like turning the
Mhm.
arenas into polling stations for voting. Like, how can we make change, right? So
Yeah, I was really happy with like the way they pulled off the civil rights stuff, like the civil rights movement messages during the bubble, because
yeah.
I actually had a friend of mine point out they're like, I'm used to seeing like a million beer commercials and stuff during the NBA playoffs, but now it's like it'll be like a Michelob commercial
Or Samsung
followed by
commercials, or yeah,
LeBron James talking about civil unrest.
or
Or
how you need to get out and vote and
yeah,
how important
exactly.
it is to vote,
And
right? And
I think that
that's
was a driving force, honestly, in how the election. I don't want to touch on politics too much. Like it's kind of a touchy subject with like the world, right?
yeah.
Especially now with like the U.S. and stuff. But like
I think anybody
that,
listening to an NBA podcast though is pretty happy that Trump is gone.
yeah. Like
I think
I feel like that the go out and vote thing that the NBA did that had a huge impact on the election because there was a lot of people that voted that probably didn't think they were gonna have like they would have a voice. But then they were like watching the NBA and being like, no, like I'm going like they had guys like they looked up to like LeBron and like
well,
Jimmy
that's the
Butler
key,
and stuff
right?
like well, pardon?
That's the key, right? Is like they're using their platform
And it
to get that
kind of
out.
showed the world that like these kind of things work if you
Yeah,
do what it says.
and it matters
If you go
that
out
the
and
vote
vote, you can
matters.
make a difference. And that was a big thing the NBA drove home. And I think with the way the election went, it showed a lot of Americans that like, yeah, they do get a voice and it does actually matter.
Well, and I feel like that energy carried over from not just the November election into the like Georgia runoffs, where
Yeah.
like all of Stacey Abrams' hard work in Georgia when she lost back in 2018.
Mhm.
She, she rallied so many people and did such hard work, and like all of that kind of coalesced into, those two Democrats winning in Georgia. Not only did they like flip Georgia blue in the election, but they won the Senate in the
Yeah.
end. And yeah, I just feel like the NBA was a huge leader in getting that out there. And I just, as a fan, I really, it makes me love the NBA more. And
Oh yeah. Like,
and respect
it
it
was like
more.
one of those moments where it's like, you're proud to be a fan of this, and it's like, because
Yeah, take
it's
my
setting a
money.
precedent
Like,
for something good. It's not often you sit there and be like, oh, I'm proud to be a fan of this, like, like
I can't
especially like with
honestly
like
say I've ever, like, I don't know anything that the NHL has done other than my personal team that I like. I'm a Habs fan. I know you're a Maple Leafs fan, but like, other than like something my team did personally that I was like, oh yeah, because I'm a fan of that team. I don't know anything that the NHL has done as a league that big that has like made me love the league as a whole. I really don't.
yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Like
And I'm a
it was a
huge
pretty
football
amazing
fan too. And
moment to watch. Honestly, it was a pretty amazing thing to watch. It was like, in a sense, you could see like you're watching history in the making. It's like this is like, especially with the bubble season, right? Because it's like 30 years from now, that's good. Like that bubble run is going to be something they're talking about
well,
30 years from now. Be like, you
absolutely. And
remember the
like
bubble when the players
even
would
just
walk
the
away for
camera
3
angles and
months?
shit, like the type of basketball we watched and we got to see because of the camera angles we got and everything that they did there.
Yeah, they had the one going like down the center
The
court stuff.
Facebook one where they said they partnered with Facebook, where they had it on
Yeah,
the sideline, where it like kind of scooted across, and yeah,
yeah, yeah. And they had
yeah.
the drone camera there too. That was cool.
And I'm in no way, as the internet labels them, a Braun sexual.
Yeah, no.
I'm a
Honestly,
big fan of
I hated
LeBron
Braun
James.
for years.
I think he's the greatest basketball player of our generation. Like,
One
because
hundred
we
percent.
were we were little kids when Michael Jordan played. Like, I didn't watch
Yeah,
basketball when
the
Michael
greatest
Jordan
basketball
played.
player of our generation would have been Kobe. Like for our generation, it would have been Kobe Bryant, I
When we
think.
were young. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. When we
but then
were like,
like LeBron kind of came in like halfway through that and stepped in, and then we were kind of privileged in the fact that we got to see Bron and Kobe.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. We've
Because like
gotten to
the
see both
generation
of
of
them
ball
at
that
their
we grew
prime.
up on, like we were pretty lucky in the sense that we got to watch guys like Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Allen Iverson.
We've
We
got
got
to
to catch the
see
tail
all
end
the
of
big
Jordan,
threes.
Pippen,
Like,
like all the big threes, Garnett,
yeah, well,
Paul
which is
Pierce, the
like
Boston big three.
Boston's kind of credited as being the first,
The
like,
first,
big
I would
three.
honestly like, the first big three, I guess. The Lakers, I would say, were the first super team though.
The first Lakers, like Kobe and Shaq,
Yeah, like,
or
well, no, I'm talking the team where they got Peyton and Malone, I believe.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was Shaq, Peyton, Malone, and Kobe. Like
yeah,
that was like
yeah,
your
yeah,
first real super team.
yeah, yeah. But I don't think like the way the media and the league looked at it was like the really first big three is when that deal
Is when the
happened, and
Boston,
is when yeah,
yeah,
when it was Paul Pierce and Garnett and
Ray
Ray
Allen,
Allen
yeah,
in Boston for sure.
and they were just like sunning LeBron every season.
That's when the league was like, that's when everybody was like, who let this fucking happen?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I mean. Like all these big threes are happening now, and all these duos and stuff. But Kobe couldn't even get Chris
and I
Paul.
feel like people weren't as mad about it. Like, I feel like it, like, because it was Boston, like, I don't know. I just feel like, and because it wasn't LeBron, and LeBron was
If
still
it
the
was like
most
somebody like
watched
the
athlete.
Orlando Magic pulled it off, people would have been up in arms.
But we all remember what happened when LeBron went to Miami. He was like the most hated athlete in the fucking world.
The same thing happened to Kevin Durant when he went to Golden State, though. It's just people.
Well,
they don't.
but I mean,
they
like,
know. I feel like people know that what's going to happen when a super team forms, and people like a balanced league more than a super team.
yeah,
Because like remember like after Golden State lost to Toronto, the championship to Toronto, and the league became very balanced. Like you had Kawhi Leonard go to the Clippers with Paul George.
yeah.
Then you had another duo in LA with Braun and AD. You had Kevin Durant and Kyrie go to Brooklyn, and the league kind of balanced out.
Yeah.
And that made for an entertaining season. And
except for the fact that Kyrie and Kevin Durant were out.
Yeah, they were out, so Brooklyn got swept in the first round.
Yeah.
But that gave Brooklyn's bench players a lot more time to, like, in a sense, that allowed
It
Brooklyn
showed
to up the value of a couple
it
players to get the
showcased
games harder.
LeVert. It showcased LeVert, which is, I guess, like the next part we should go into, which is like the rest of that. So that big 4 trade that happened.
Oh my
We
god.
kind of got derailed there and went
I was
off
in a
on
McDonald's drive-through and almost crashed into the building. I was reading the thing. I was like, oh my god.
yeah. So, yeah, like LeVert really got to showcase his abilities, which I'm sure played a part in the trade that happened. Because
Oh,
I don't think
100%.
if if Kyrie and KD didn't sit out last season, LeVert really got to showcase in the bubble because he did an amazing job.
LeVert and Allen especially, they were lethal in the pick and roll. So the bubble really upped LeVert and Allen's value, and that and as the bubble play, if you wouldn't have had them in the bubble, they wouldn't have landed James Harden.
No, for sure, and because I don't think Indiana would have wanted LeVert, and
they would have said it's too big of a risk to give up Oladipo.
Setting aside what happened with LeVert and thoughts out to him and his family with the
100%.
The discovery with the
mass on his right kidney.
Yeah, with the MRI that
he actually recently said in an interview that he's crediting the trade with possibly saving his life.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane that happened. That those events lining up that far back, like if you think about it, really, like
if that trade would never happened, that could have just gone.
He might have never. Why? Right? He's already signed and everything. Nobody would have demanded a physical from him. He would have never. And he's a fit athlete and healthy, clearly taking care of his body. Why would you ever think, right, anything of it? So
yeah,
hopefully everything is all right there, and
yeah, hopefully he's back on the floor this season because I know Indiana's been going off pretty good this year, so he'd be a key piece to them if they're going to make any kind of run.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other piece of that is obviously we watched Allen and Prince tonight in the Cavs, and
yeah, I liked Allen. I liked Allen in the Cavs. He fits their system very well because their system's very much aimed at bigs, and he's a very versatile big.
Even Prince did well.
Yeah.
Like and that might have been that energy again. Like let's beat the Nets, right?
Yeah.
So we'll
let's
see how it goes.
I want to see if Prince can carry that over into the next game against Brooklyn and the game after that against a different team. Because the next game is Brooklyn against Cavaliers again.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's back-to-back.
It's back-to-back against each other. It's on Friday, I believe.
That's what's crazy about this season because we
have a lot of series like baseball this year.
Well, because we're playing so much in our own conference because of COVID, that you're seeing these like back-to-backs so much. It's kind of cool. Like it.
Yeah, I like it.
It is really cool. Like
it's kind of
a lot of back-to-back games.
Creating rivalries again.
Like between the preseason and now, not to get on the Raptors, we'll talk about the Raptors after, but like the Raptors have played Charlotte 4 times now.
Yeah.
Between the regular season and preseason, we've seen them 4 times.
I think they got like 2 more games against them too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's a, I don't know, it's a cool concept. It definitely changes it up.
Yeah.
Allen and Prince did really well. Victor Oladipo in Houston though.
I liked his Houston debut. Yeah. I watched his Houston debut. I haven't seen Oladipo play like that in a long time. He's looking like the Oladipo we know.
But you were mentioning he doesn't really want to be there.
Yeah, the word is that there's a mutual interest between him and the Miami Heat for free agency.
Because he's only on only to the end of the season. Is he?
Yeah, it's to the end of the season. That's why Indiana traded him.
Picked up the remainder of his contract. Yeah.
Yeah, they offered an extension and he turned it down.
Houston, like I seen on Twitter, where it's like, oh, Houston took a huge L for this lead or for this trade. Houston also can swap picks with Boston every year from now until 2028.
Brooklyn.
Sorry, what did I say?
Boston.
Sorry. Brooklyn. Yeah. So with Brooklyn, they can swap at like.
So even if Brooklyn bombs, like they're still gonna get good picks.
And how many first-round picks did they get from them?
4 firsts, and then Brooklyn had to send another second to Indiana, as well as $2.5 million cash consideration because of the Karis LeVert stuff.
Yeah. So Houston didn't do too bad. I mean,
and there was another first somewhere in there. There was another first somewhere in there. I feel like it was via Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was from the Cavaliers because the Cavaliers I think gave up Dante Exum and the first through Milwaukee.
Yeah. I don't know if Oladipo is going to stay in Houston. I guess it depends on how the season goes. And, with Cousins.
I would hope to see him stay in Houston because if Boogie and Wall can stay healthy, that would be a pretty like
It would
interesting
be.
lineup to have.
I would like to see that lineup. I would really like to see a Cousins, Wall, and Oladipo lineup.
Yeah, it sounds like it would like if you were to say that lineup to somebody like 5 years ago, like even like 4 years ago or something,
Like,
somebody would been like, yeah, they would have been like, what the fuck? It's a chip.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, Wall's had his injuries and Cousins has had
That's
his
the thing is
injuries.
since then they've like all three of them have had their share of injuries.
And you know what? Like it's crazy because like I didn't really like Cousins at all like originally.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I've always liked his
maybe
game.
it's because I feel like Cousins had a shitty media perception too, just like Kyrie does, right? Like, and I feel like the refs really pick hard. Like, how many technicals has Boogie got this year?
Oh,
now?
he gets a lot.
He gets a lot of technicals.
Yeah.
Like for shit
Yeah,
that
the
other
refs do
players
not like Cousins at all.
But let's be real though. He doesn't do like sometimes. Okay, he might get a technical, but like he really doesn't do that much where he needs to be kicked out of that many games.
Yeah, like I find a lot of the refs have like those few guys they just don't like, and
maybe it's because I have a
problem
with authority that I feel for Cousins, but like
yeah,
man, the guy. Oh fuck.
Question for you though, who's your pick for rookie of the year so far?
Oh, rookie of the year. I was gonna say this for another episode, but we can do this right now. Rookie of the year. Well, I can't pick James Wiseman because that's yours.
James, honestly, I'm not sure anymore because Wiseman's been playing pretty shitty lately.
Yeah.
Like I would still say James Wiseman, but it's really close with him and Melo right now.
I was gonna say I'm still going with my original. I think LaMelo Ball is going to have it.
LaMelo
I think the
Ball's
hype
been balling.
because I think it's more than just like I get it, it's performance and everything like that, but there is a lot of there's a certain amount of hype around certain players and stuff like that that play into getting that award. And
yeah,
I think LaMelo Ball is gonna. I think ultimately he's going to do it. I think when you look at the long stretch of the season, I think he's going to get rookie of the year.
I think in the short term, my stance with it right now is the short term awards like rookie of the year. I think you're going to see LaMelo Ball get it, but in long term impact as a player, I think James Wiseman's going to be the most impactful player of the draft.
Well, I think the crazy thing about James Wiseman is who he's surrounded by. And
that's one thing that works in his favor. He's got
being
that.
able to play with Draymond
Green.
Being able to play with Draymond Green in that big position and putting him at the 5 and having Draymond at the 4 sometimes, and just having Draymond's basketball IQ is insane. It's insane.
Yeah,
you can watch it on the floor. You can watch him screens and yell at his players. His communication on the floor is just it's insane. It's insane.
Have you seen much of Draymond Mike talking to Wiseman? Those videos?
No, I haven't. No.
Draymond's basically just like what you said, like where Draymond knows like what everybody's doing and at all times kind of things. He's actually like trying to teach that to Wiseman to get him a better IQ. And Draymond's kind of taking Wiseman under his wing, and like he's kind of guiding him and like molding him into the player that he wants him to be.
Wiseman's going to be an all-star for sure.
Oh, for sure. The biggest problem that Wiseman's having right now, though, is he's getting into a lot of foul trouble really early.
Yeah, and that might
he is like a bully ball player, right? So it's like he's getting.
I think that comes with his wingspan and his size. Like I don't think that he knows. Being a rookie, I don't think that he knows his size and his wingspan, how to use that on a court in the NBA yet.
Well,
right?
He also only played 3 college games, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot that is different about this rookie class because of COVID and everything too coming in, and that's why I think LaMelo
Australia playing the whole year.
LaMelo has the edge, right? LaMelo has the edge because he was playing pro ball in Australia, and they were continuing on because they're like COVID. I don't know. I don't really know too much about COVID in Australia, but like it.
I don't think they shut down. I don't think they shut down the league out there.
No, like they still played a lot of games. Like they as far as I know, their season pretty much continued as regular. So yeah, I feel like he definitely has an up when it comes to the like the rookie class this year. That is, or like playing experience and everything. Because a lot of these college kids, like you said, They didn't play. They didn't play at all last year.
Yeah, like
They got
James
shut
Wiseman,
down. There was no
he got
March
into Memphis.
Madness. There was
Memphis
nothing,
University, and then he played 3 games, and then COVID shut everything down.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. It's I still
shaping up
think
to be a hell of a season. I'm not gonna lie, even though it's a compressed season, it's definitely shaping up to be one of the more entertaining ones in a long time.
Yeah, it's with the trades and the moves and everything that's happened, it's been the quick off season we had. It felt like I felt like it was hard to keep up with everything
Oh yeah,
going on. Like, thank God we talk about basketball every day, pretty much, because like I feel like I would have missed a lot if I was just like regularly on my own checking my news feed for like what was happening in the NBA, because like so much happened in the off season where it was like, what?
Well, that's like the one that shocked me, which will I guess lead into the next topic that we want to go into. There was Ibaka leaving the Raptors.
Yeah,
That had a hell of
and
an
Gasol,
impact.
yeah.
Like for Toronto fans that like didn't realize the impact that those two players had.
Well, I think real Toronto's fan or like real Raptors fans knew like the impact that they made. I think honestly, I miss Ibaka more than I miss Gasol.
Yeah, 100%. Because Ibaka was a perfect stretch 5.
Yeah,
and like he could do exactly. He could defend the paint. Like that's where Toronto's defense took a big hit, was losing Serge Ibaka. And then they also lost the basketball IQ with Marc Gasol at the same time. And that kind of was like a double gut punch.
Yeah, it's super, and all in the post, like all in our defense and all in the post game. Like it's
they're getting eaten in the post.
Aaron
Baines, like I'm sorry, Aaron Baines was a terrible replacement.
We were all excited about him at first.
I know,
we were
right?
Like, oh, is he gonna do something? Is he gonna do something? And Aaron Lamb, we're like, oh, no.
Oh,
garbage. Chris Boucher though was killing it.
Yeah, Chris Boucher. I thought
that man
needs to start. Was gonna have a breakout season this year, but Chris Boucher is just going crazy.
Well, he still can. Like, Anunoby's playing well.
Anunoby, I think is he's gonna be more of a 3-and-D.
Yeah,
because like he hits.
But he needs to hit more threes, though. He's got to hit more threes, though. He's got to hit more threes.
He's got like, if he hits more threes, yeah. But if you think about like Anunoby's got a wicked catch and shoot shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, yeah.
So like even going back to that buzzer beater against Boston,
that was insane. That was probably one of the most like. That's gonna be a replay that we'll watch when we're old men. Like, we're gonna show our children that shit. That pass from Kyle Lowry over Taco Fall to like who's a 7-footer against Kyle Lowry, like
7.5. He's 7'6",
and he had 0.5 seconds to shoot. He had a fifth of a second. He had a fifth of a second to shoot that ball, and he just like caught it, bang, done. Like, and then he
walks off like Iron Man.
About it though, is that he just walked away like nothing happened at all. Like,
he's like, yeah, I did that. Let's go.
Which is funny because I met him, Pascal Siakam, and JV was still on the team, so I met those 3 at the Kids Hospital in Toronto.
Yeah,
and Anunoby was the quietest one. Pascal was kind of like animated, and JV was just kind of like a regular dude. But Pascal was more like of a like more talkative. Yeah, he was a more talkative guy for sure, and asking me like, "Oh, what's going on with your daughter?" And like I had more of a conversation with Pascal than I did. I just said what up to JV, and I said nice beard because we both had big beards at the time. So, and Veronica just came out of the shower, out of our like bathroom hospital room, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And she looked up at JV, and like, I'm a tall guy, but JV makes me look
7 foot tall.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not a bad looking dude. Like, sometimes, like, I'm not. Yeah, like sometimes like dudes that size are like weird looking, but like he's just like a normal, good looking dude with a massive beard.
He's a big guy,
7 foot tall, and it's like, all right. But yeah, Anunoby was like super quiet, and like I remember Anunoby like getting in the way of like me and Evelyn. Like, I held Evelyn up because she was just a little baby.
Yeah.
For the picture, and Anunoby just like stood in front of us, and Pascal was like, "Dude, get out of the way." Yeah, and Anunoby is just like that. He's just like a super quiet, conserved guy.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
That's from hanging out with them for 10 minutes. Like,
pretty hard, then.
Yeah, like
he's like him and Leonard had like a really good connection.
Yeah, and Leonard's and Leonard's the same way, right? It's Man, we just really miss Ibaka and even though Gasol, like we were talking about earlier, Gasol doesn't necessarily need to put up a certain amount of points or rebounds each game, which he still did. He definitely with rebounds and everything like that, even if he was having an off night shooting. But it's his basketball IQ, getting the rebounds and the boards, and that's the shit we're missing this year.
In my
We're
opinion,
missing
outside of Nikola Jokic, Marc Gasol is the best passing big in the league.
100%. And rebounding and like he just and that's just it, right? Like getting those
and he was a
defensive
secret weapon for
rebounds.
Toronto
And
in the
like
championship run. Toronto's like secret weapon was like Vucevic. He sunned Vucevic in that first series. And then if it wasn't for Marc Gasol, they wouldn't have beaten Philadelphia because they wouldn't have been able to handle Embiid.
absolutely.
Because Embiid was like balling that year. And it was Marc Gasol that ruined that year.
Shut him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like Kawhi made the dagger at the end of the series, but Marc Gasol was the
that was a
in that series.
complete chance. Like the chance that we even won that championship was luck. Like it was that shot. That shot set us on the course to win that championship.
100%. Because it was the momentum from that, and then they went down 2-0 to Milwaukee, and then I don't know what lit under their ass after that, but then they took Milwaukee 4 straight after going down 2-0, and then they just started handling Golden State.
Yeah. Well, and Golden State did have the injuries.
Golden State
but that was late.
Had the Kevin Durant injury. I don't really like to count the Klay Thompson injury because Klay only missed like 1 game and then half a quarter.
Yeah.
Like I don't count. Like people like to play up the Klay Thompson injury in that one, but I say to people all the time, it's like I say to people all the time, like Klay Thompson didn't miss that much game. Like Klay Thompson was a difference maker in that series. Like you can't use that as an excuse.
No, he played up right to the end. Like he played up right to the end. I don't think that.
The guy
I think either way we were going to win that series.
On a torn ACL.
KD, you can argue KD because KD is an all-star and everything. KD going down.
He was cooking them.
Yeah. So KD, 100% you could argue if KD stayed in that series, would it have made a difference for sure?
It would have made a huge difference. If KD wouldn't have gotten injured, I would have seen Golden State going for the 3-peat.
Yeah.
Because Leonard would have had to guard Kevin Durant that whole series.
At least going 7 games though.
Yeah. And the thing is, Kevin Durant, even Kevin Durant said to Serge on the "How hungry are you?" though, they would go to 7 games. And I'm sorry, but Toronto didn't have the playoff experience. You're going to a 3-time champ into Game 7
with Klay.
That's a scary time.
Even with Klay out, it would have been scary.
Kevin
but we won the championship, so we don't have to talk about that. We're champions. we got that ring.
You got it out, eh?
Yeah. I got a family friend got me a replica for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's on my audio interface. Raptors now though. So Baines is shit. Lynn got waived.
Len got waived. There's word they're trying to get Drummond, but Cavs aren't willing to take calls on it.
On Drummond?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not willing to take calls on it because they want to use Allen and Drummond. So they're trying to off McGee, and they're still trying to get rid of Kevin Love.
Really?
Yeah, because
Kevin's
contract. Right now. They can't get rid of him injured right now, but when he's not injured, they've been shopping him around.
Really? Just because he's got such a big contract?
Yeah.
Interesting. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
He's a good stretch 5. How is Kevin Love defensively though?
I haven't paid attention to the Cavaliers since LeBron was on the team, so it would be hard to say. For me to say now, really. I don't really know Kevin Love that well as a player. Cavaliers, Love's injured.
Yeah, I don't know Kevin Love's game that well, other than playing with his recent diamond card in 2K. That's about it. He used to
be good defensively, back when I remember watching him. But like I said, anytime I watch the Cavaliers anymore, he's injured.
Yeah. Because the big thing is we could definitely use a stretch 5. Don't get me wrong. Adding a stretch 5 would be amazing, but we need to have that boarding. We need to have somebody who's going to clean the glass for us and get those defensive rebounds. Because
the outcome is spotty. Contract is up at the end of this year.
The outcome is too spotty.
Yeah. Drummond is a free agent after this season. So I could definitely see him being on the Raptors' radar, especially with all that cap space they opened up for Giannis.
Yeah.
And like Drummond, it's not like he's an old guy or anything. Like Drummond's he's only like his mid-20s.
Well, and being that they just waived Len, it's
They're
certainly
making
seeming
room
like
now.
they're rooming. Yeah, they're making room, right? They're making room for some, even maybe this year for
Like a decent trade or something, right?
a trade, whatever. Yeah, yeah. I don't know who you really give the Cavs for Drummond though.
I don't know.
That's my only thing is like who would we give away for Drummond that would be worth it?
You would lose somebody like Powell or Anunoby or something, and that's not what you want to do.
No.
Because like the way I see Toronto's future plans is once Kyle Lowry departs, you're gonna have the backcourt be Powell and Van Vliet.
Absolutely. Yeah,
with OG.
Powell's got to do better though. He's got to be hitting shots more consistently.
Yeah.
He's starting to.
That way.
He's starting to, but like it's not just playoff Powell. We need Powell all season long.
Yeah.
All the time to be like our starting shooting guard.
He goes off the playoffs.
He does, absolutely. But again, we need to get to the fucking playoffs before.
Yeah, that's the worry with Toronto this year. It's hard to say if they're going to make it in there.
Yeah, I'm not super sure.
Because they just lost to the Heat tonight too, eh?
I want to have faith. Yeah, did they? Let
they lost to
the
Heat.
Did they lose to the Heat? Yeah.
Let
me take a look at the box score for that. Have you looked at the box score yet?
I haven't looked. I honestly saw the score. I caught the tail end of the game after the Brooklyn game.
I seen that. I wanted to watch the Nets, obviously the Big Three debut, so I didn't. I was 111 to 102, so it was pretty close. But still, another L. Like we're 5-9, man.
It's not looking good for them this year. Like they need to make some serious moves.
Yeah.
So how's your grind onto Kawhi Leonard?
I'm only level 20. I've been grinding for Jameson, honestly.
Yeah. I've been in the Hall of Fame grind right now. I'm at level 29.
I can at any time. I just bought. So if we're talking 2K now, we're talking NBA2K21 for anybody who's going to watch this podcast. We're switching topics. I just bought Ben Gordon tonight.
Okay. I got. Well, I'm telling you earlier. I got the Galaxy Opal AD.
Yeah.
Absolute monster of a card.
Yeah, he's the best card in the game. Like
absolute.
You can play like a point guard. He plays like a point guard. You can dribble with him. You can shoot. You can.
Oh, it's insane.
Rim run. Like he's a fucking point guard.
I got my last wheel spin. I got a Hall of Fame badge, and I got range extender. So I upgraded his range. I upgraded AD with range extender to Hall of Fame.
You could sell him for so much MT with that. Just sell him. What do
you
do? Play with him. Get his XP
and sell him. Contract on him and a diamond shoe.
Yeah, please, like, be smart. And, like, I know he's super dope and you love AD, but, like, with Hall of Fame range on him, like, do his XP challenges and then sell him. You'll make so much MT.
I figure I'll do the challenges and then I'll sell them and I'll buy another one cheaper. Just like how, because I want that Galaxy Opal.
Well, even wait a couple, because, like, we're going to get, like,
Opals
what is today? We're entering the era of God cards, so we're now Thursday almost. So Friday we're gonna get another Galaxy Opal because it looks like the moments throwbacks are gonna be pink diamonds still.
Yeah, they're those once a week now,
right? So Tuesday drops are gonna be pink diamonds, and
Friday drops are gonna be
Fridays are gonna be the big sets with the Galaxy Opal
grinds too.
Yeah, and then you get your weekend grinds with limited. Are you doing limited?
I haven't been doing limited, no.
I do limited, man.
I've been doing triple threat.
You got to do limited. It's
I've
so
been doing
easy.
Triple threat. Well, today started today. I added.
But triple threat's all a roll of the dice. Like limited is.
I go into it with Pink Diamond Iverson, Galaxy Opal AD, and Galaxy Opal Butler.
Yeah, and I mean you might get the triple threat reward from it, but if you play limited and you just put together like a good limited squad and you get the rings, you're guaranteed a Galaxy Opal card at the end of doing it. You just have to.
I've been buying up all the cheap cards because I want to get that Opal Lillard.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I did today, I went up like another 30 cards, like 30 or 50 cards today. because I bought up all the ball cards that were $250.
Yep.
I just went through and buying all the cheap ones to try and save myself. And then after a bit, I'm just going to go through and just do a huge shopping spree with it and just finish it off and get to 2,000 and have the
Well, the
guy
nice
still
thing
be
about
Lillard.
Lillard is you can just buy all the cards and then you can sell them
Sell 'em.
back.
Yeah.
And
It's like because I'm buying them all cheap,
get
like
reasonably your
500.
money back, minus the tax that 2K charges us. Which, could you stop doing that, please? Could you erase the tax? That'd be great. It'd be amazing for all of us if you could stop doing that. That'd be awesome.
I
Ridiculous.
wouldn't mind the
Why
fact
does
that
that
I
exist?
sold my Zion for 300,000.
Like
only
contracts.
got 270.
Get rid of contracts. Stop doing that to us. Like, why do contracts even matter? Stop making us buy contracts for players. It's stupid. Okay, Ronnie.
Make me buy the player, then make me buy the contract.
Ronnie, get your shit together.
I saw this poster today in a 2K group. Actually, it said it had like a picture of like a pink diamond Ronnie 2K card, and it said, "What are you gonna do if you pull this?" And it was like, everybody's like, "Sell it."
It was from 2K20, and it was yeah. I see it. It was sell it. Why you only get 250 MT for it?
It's worth it.
Nobody wants it. Nobody wants that shit. He's gonna sell. He's gonna sell every game, every shot. He's just gonna take every shot. You can't pass. The Ronnie 2 card, like the pass is disabled on it. You can't pass with Ronnie. He just takes every shot.
Contested or not.
Yeah.
Getting triple team still takes the shot from half court. It's like an automatic reaction. You don't even press a button. He just automatically
he just shoots. It's like, what the fuck is happening right now? Yeah. That's the Ronnie 2K card. No, like the throwbacks are pretty good. Ben Gordon, I definitely suggest you pick up Ben Gordon. He's
okay.
He's
I've heard some good things about him.
I mean, you're gonna have to anyways to get Kawhi Leonard, and you're gonna have to grind it out. But
the one triple threat offline card, the pink diamond, I forget what it is. The Detroit Piston player.
They changed it actually.
If you look at the stats of him, I was comparing it today to the level 40 Kawhi Leonard. Same
the new one,
span.
the new triple threat offline one.
Yeah, Detroit. I forget it was Detroit.
He's as good as Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. The stats are identical to the Kawhi Leonard card, minus like a couple things, and so Kawhi has like a little bit more weight on him.
So the big difference there though is like where people are like, is it even worth it to grind for Kawhi now? Is like animations and like stats are one thing, and like
the animations though, I've never been a fan of the Kawhi card
animations and badges, and neither have I. Honestly, I have like zero. Honestly, right now, I'm still gonna probably do it, and I'm gonna put the pressure on myself to grind it out in the last 20 days because I'm an idiot. But I have like zero inspiration to grind for Kawhi this season.
Yeah,
like I just don't. I just feel like the cards they're gonna release in packs are gonna be way better.
So much better.
Yeah, we're like Dwayne Wade. I feel like Dwayne Wade's worth it. I've gotten my already online. I've gotten my worth out of Dwayne Wade and Baron Davis. We're like grinding for both of those cards.
Grind so hard for that opal Wade, like being like, oh, get your first opal, get an opal, get an opal, and then the second they do that, they drop the opal Butler and AD.
Yeah, different positions though. So like,
different
Wade
positions,
is still worth
but
it.
Still.
Wade is still being played online everywhere. Like last limited weekend, like I still like even when I play unlimited, which is kind of rare because unlimited is toxic and people are shitty online. He was very much worth the grind putting in. I just don't know if Kawhi is. I just really don't. I really don't.
Yeah.
And honestly, every Kawhi card I've played with this year has sucked.
Yeah. The best one was the Diamond Possessed one, and even that one wasn't good.
No, I played with him for a little bit, and like he was great defensively. He was one of the like other than Giannis.
But you get better defense than Jimmy Butler.
Early on, exactly. Early on, and you get better offense with Jimmy Butler.
Like, exactly. The animations with Jimmy Butler.
If you want to do animations, and again, we don't know. And the thing that 2K does too, sometimes you have to understand too with season rewards, is that they'll look a certain way throughout the season, and then they'll get a buff by the time people start hitting level 40 and actually get the card. So he might get a buff, and he might actually be worth it. But I want to get like basically what I want to do. My strategy for season 4 is I'm gonna get close enough where it'll still be easy for me to get Kawhi. And then I'm going to watch the content creators and like the other people, like not just the big content creators, but like the other people I follow on Twitter get Kawhi and tell me whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah.
And then I'll decide whether I'm gonna make that hop from like level 38 to 40. Because if it ain't worth it, I ain't doing it. It's not worth my
Yeah.
time, right? Just like why put the time in if the card's gonna be? Because by then we're gonna be 6 weeks deep into season 4, and there's gonna be that much more packs released and that many more Galaxy Opals out.
That was closer to like dark matter cards that are coming out soon.
What was that?
That much closer to dark matter cards at the same time.
Yeah, and like and that's the thing I was saying to you too, is like everything right now is just a stopgap to getting to the end of the year of
dark matter, where everybody's got their full dark matter lineup.
And really, unless you're like playing online competitively and unlimited, like what's the point in like spending the money and spending all the time getting these cards if they're all like we're all just waiting for the dark matter cards anyways for the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why I'm kind of just like using like all the cards I got, like I get just like as investments, like keeping like one certain card that's gonna like keep its value for a while, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
The more research I've done about my team, because I haven't played my team. I played my career before this, as you know, like you kind of got me into my team a little bit last year with 2K20. And the more research I've done this year, like the really smart people are like no money spent players. They bid snipe, get really expensive cards for super cheap, flip them, and they just all they do all season is build MT until the end of the year when like the God squads come out. And then they buy up their God squads and then they go at it. Because at that point you know that there's not really going to be any more like big cards released or anything. Because like right now you could drop like 500k on an AD. Like when AD came out, he was going for like badged out. He was going for over $1 million MT.
Yeah, I saw him go for like 1.7 million and stuff the first day.
Like, what? And like Kobe went for the most ridiculous
amount
of
MT.
MT.
For like almost 500k.
Yeah, but I mean, like badged out when he first came out, like
he was
like going for.
I remember my auction house showed him at like 2.5 million.
Dude, oh, easily, yeah.
I mean, Kobe Bryant.
There's hype around certain cards, right? Everybody was waiting for a Kobe card, especially because it was a Froby. Everybody wanted the Froby because it was number 8, and it was like back in the day, the Froby, yeah, like so there is a certain amount of hype that drives up the price. It's like any other market, but I don't know, man. Some people are just dumb with it.
I gotta get going though because my phone's about to die.
All right, man. I think that's good for this episode. We touched on everything.
Yeah, so that's what I figured. I'm pretty sure we went through everything, anyways.
Yeah. Another limited weekend coming up. Another pack drop on Friday for 2K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the Raptors playing next?
I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure if they're doing a back-to-back with Miami or not.
Let's take a look real quick. Just because we are, the two guys from the north, we should probably know when the Raptors play next. Kind of in our description. Let's see. Raptors are playing. Yeah, they are playing Miami Heat again.
Yeah.
On Friday at 7:30, and then they play the Pacers.
Oh shit! Okay.
After that, so still back to backs with the Heats. So like, hopefully we can take the Heat on Friday.
Yeah.
At least split the back to back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll do our next episode maybe Friday after the Raptors game, or
yeah, I'm down.
Whatever. Friday be a good time probably because new packs will drop for 2K, and we'll
get kind of talk about more 2K stuff that time too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
All right, guys. So that is episode 1. We talked the Nets versus Cavs game. We touched on the Raptors, some NBA2KMyTeam, and some other things. Let us know what you think of the first episode. Please, as always, hit the subscribe button below, like, and comment. You can also follow myself at Solston2K on Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow Zach at Bohemian Zaxity on Twitter. You can also follow On the Floor TV on Twitter and on Instagram. All right, guys, have a good night, and we'll see you for episode 2.